How we doing, guys? And welcome to the preview and the predicted lineup. Arsenal against Burnley tomorrow. And to put it quite simply, this is one of those games that you have to win, and you have to win convincingly. I'm not even buying all of this. Let's just get the 3 points and you'd be happy with a 1-0. You've got to put it in context, the team you're playing, where they are in the league. And you've got to say that only a convincing victory will do. Now, Burnley, they've had a tough life in the Premier League this season so far. 11 games, only 1 win, 9 defeats and a draw. Second bottom, only Sheffield United are below them. And it's very similar to the game we played at the Emirates against Sheffield United a few weeks ago, where the same situation, the same scenario, only a convincing victory would do. And we got it on that day. Helps your, goal difference and everything else. And these are the kind of games where you need to rack up the goals. And it's not being disrespectful to Burnley. It's just putting it into simple context. You look at Manchester City, when they go up against teams like this, 9 times out of 10, when they're at home especially, they will beat these teams convincingly. They will rack up 4, 5, 6 goals. And that's exactly what we need to do also. In terms of the personnel with the lineup, I actually think it will be a very strong lineup, given the fact that we can't really make too many changes. We haven't really got the luxury of being able to rotate a lot because of injuries. So I think our hand is forced in that respect. And it's one of those games where you're going to have to be patient. I think if you get, a goal in the opening 10 minutes, then you're buzzing. It's like perfect. Game plan is exactly how you need it. Opposition have to come out a little bit more and it's perfect. But it's one of those where you just need to get that first goal. I look at Manchester City as an example last weekend with their game. And, it was 0-0 until 25 minutes or so, something like that. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, it's not a bad start. But once they get 1, then they'll get 2, then 3, then 4. And that's what happens. And it was similar when we played Sheffield United. It was very quiet. Didn't get the first goal until 25, 30 minutes into the game. And then all of a sudden, the floodgates opened. So it's very simple what we need to do. Not going to disrespect Burnley, not in any way, shape or form. I think Vincent Kompany is a superb manager. I think he's doing a brilliant job. You need to also put what he has at his disposal into context. He's a good manager. I really do rate him. I thought the way that Burnley, got back into the Premier League and what they did into the, the Championship was superb. And you've got to remember, he's came into there. It's his, first job in the Premier League. And he had to change the whole entire culture of Burnley, because beforehand with Sean Dyche and everything else, the culture of Burnley was just long ball. It was, get stuck in, very Stoke City-like. He's came in and he's completely changed it. And he's, brought a really good brand of football. And he's trying to stick with that, in some respects. And fair play to him. But the quality is just not there. I think what may well be Burnley's saving grace is that there's a lot of teams down the bottom that are not great. And it's quite tight down there. So they'll probably end up getting themselves out of it if they can string a couple of results together, especially at home. They sit on 4 points at the moment. And then you've got Luton in 17th place on 6 points. So there's only 2 points. So there's like 4 teams there. Everton, there's a little gap where they're on 11. But you've also got to remember that we've played 11 games. There's still a lot of football to play. So you don't know what happens. And you don't know whether they're going to strengthen in January or anything like that. But I do really rate him as a manager. I think he's a good manager. And He'll have to just suffer another defeat for this weekend, though. That's what I want anyway. So, listen, with that said, let's go and get into the predicted lineup. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be a lot of changes because we haven't got a lot of personnel with so many injuries at the moment. So, yeah, with that said, let's get into the lineup. And starting off in goal, David Raya. It's not going to change. And I've said this, and I've said it for a while now. And I think that it's a tough one. It's like there's still moments he's not showing me anything, but it's not going to change. So, you know, David Raya goes in goal. And I think also one thing that I need to touch on as well, and I forgot to mention, is that we got the international break after this. Yes, dreaded international break again. So finishing off with a win is very important. And you look at the other games this weekend, they're actually, you know, in our favour to some respects, because last weekend, with teams losing and, you know, the same as us, it didn't really, you know, end up being a bad weekend. Man City, they've got Chelsea away. Spurs have got Brentford. No, Spurs have not got Brentford. Liverpool have got Brentford. And Spurs are away to Wolves. That's it. So you never know what happens. Let's go into the international break with a win behind us. So next position we're going to move to is the right back, and that's going to be Ben White. Very simple decision. Right centre back, William Saliba. Again, another very simple decision. And whilst I remember actually Marcel Desailly and William Gallas and people like that, listen, you need to watch this boy more. If you just don't even get me started. He is one of the best defenders in the world. It's as simple as that. He starts. Left centre back, Gabriel. Again, a very straightforward decision for me. Left back, I feel this is where we'll have a change from the start. You know, to the Champions League game with Zinchenko coming in. I know Tomiyasu came off. I don't know whether he's injured, what the situation is. I haven't seen the press conference. So yeah, Zinchenko comes back in there. Sitting in front of them, Jorginho, played quite a few minutes lately. Got no issues with him playing. Very simple, very straightforward. On the right hand side, Bukayo Saka, he will play. I know he got a little knock towards the end. I really would like to see some protection for Bukayo Saka from the referees, but it just doesn't seem to ever happen. But he will play. Next up, we're going to have Kai Havertz. I don't think Martin Odegaard is back. He's possibly going to miss the international matches as well. I don't know what the actual injury is, but I'm presuming he's going to be back after. So Kai Havertz will continue in that role. Next up, Declan Rice. I don't need to say much more, do I? He is unbelievable. What a player we've bought. I love him. He's so good. On the left-hand side, Martinelli. I'd like to see another performance like I saw in the Champions League. He was superb, and he had their right back on toast. And then kind of as the striker, the false nine, whatever you want to call it, Trossard. Got a goal. Good performance Wednesday. I like the way that Saka, Trossard and Martinelli all link. And yeah, I think that would be the lineup that I would go with. And I got a feeling that probably will be the lineup that Mikel Arteta goes with. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. So there we go. That is it for the preview and the predicted lineup. As usual, let me know in the comment section whether you agree or disagree. If you would change any of the players, where would you make the changes? Of course, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Smash a like on this video. And I will see you lot soon for the match reaction. And I'm out of here.